Suffering is something we've all experienced. It can be physical, emotional, or spiritual, and it touches everyone. In fact, some people might say it's the one thing that all humans truly have in common. But when we talk about suffering in the context of God, it's natural to wonder, if God is all powerful and good, then why does He allow it? Why doesn't He just stop it? To help us understand, let's look at a few key perspectives that the Bible offers on this. One of the most important things to remember is that God created us with free will. He didn't want to make robots who just did everything He wanted without thought. Free will means we get to make our own choices, and unfortunately, sometimes those choices lead to suffering. In Deuteronomy 30:19, God says, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. This shows that our choices carry consequences. When people choose selfishness, greed, or violence, it can lead to suffering for others. God respects our freedom to choose, even when those choices lead to pain. The Bible also teaches that we live in a fallen world. In Genesis, we see that God originally created a world without suffering. But when Adam and Eve sinned, that perfection was lost, and with it, suffering entered into human experience. This isn't just about individual sins, but about the brokenness of our world. Sickness, natural disasters, and death all stem from a world that's not in the perfect state God intended. Another perspective is that suffering can actually serve a greater purpose in God's plan. Romans 5:3-4 says, we also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. When we go through difficult times, we can come out stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Many people find that their hardest trials actually lead them closer to God. Think about it. When life is easy, it's easy to forget about God or take things for granted. But during tough times, many people lean on God more than ever. It's in our weakness that we experience His strength. One of the most comforting truths about Christianity is that God Himself experienced suffering through Jesus. Jesus wasn't immune to pain. He faced betrayal, rejection, physical agony, and even death on a cross. He knows what it's like to suffer. Isaiah 53:3 says, He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Jesus walked the road of suffering to the fullest, and because of that, He understands our pain deeply. The Bible also tells us that this life isn't the end. In Revelation 21:4, we read about a future where He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. God promises that one day He will restore everything and suffering will be no more. This doesn't necessarily make our current suffering easier, but it does remind us that it's temporary. There's a future where all of the brokenness and hurt we experience now will be healed. Sometimes, though, there are no easy answers to why we or our loved ones suffer. It's in those times that we are called to trust God's heart, even if we don't understand His plan. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Trusting in God's wisdom means believing that He sees the bigger picture, even if we don't. Even in difficult moments, God invites us to lean on Him. And He promises that even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we don't walk alone. If you're going through a season of suffering, I want to encourage you that you're not alone. God sees you, He cares, and He's with you even in the hardest moments. Let's continue to hold on to the hope that God's love is greater than any pain we can experience and that His promises are true. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If this message encouraged you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Let's walk together in faith, trusting that God is with us, even in suffering.